Gilchrist.
Gilchrist, there you go. We got 6 laps in the Porsche 911 GT3. Again, my name is David. Just a few things before we roll. Mirrors are mine. You got the drive, and I got everyone else.
Yep.
If someone's behind you, I'll let you know. Foot off throttle so they pass quickly. When you catch people, I'll tell you to take them right or left. Yep. My hand might get on the wheel, but it's safety. You're in control. Don't let go. Yep. I'm there just in case. We drive an automatic. We're using paddle shifters. What do you want to do today?
What's that?
Automatic or paddle shifters?
Paddle shifters.
Up, right, down, left.
Yeah.
Just got to watch the windshield wipers and high beams of the Porsches. They're really close. It's just 3 shifts per lap. It's very minimal, but
yep.
You know, don't overthink it. You got a great RPM range in there. When we get on track, you build your speed up. Use that first lap. Get a feel for the brakes. It's a good linear pedal, but it's a little bit deep relative to some stuff. But the idea is the same. Firm initially. Lose your speed in a straight line. Because when we get to that single green cone, I just want to be able to ease off the brake. Just carry momentum through that corner.
Yep.
And that's where I get to kind of step in and help it as far as pedal pressure, what's too hard, what's not enough.
Okay.
Little car on a big track. Use all the space you can. So start that turn in, but most importantly, get to those apexes. It's just paint.
Yep.
You can get a wheel all over those red and white lines. And make sure you're getting there. Once you're there and you can start to unwind, that's when you start to accelerate. Be patient with the throttle. You know, it's naturally aspirated. It's really responsive.
Yep.
If you're trying to power, power's going to win. It's not this thing super tail happy, but it definitely will just understeer away on you.
Okay.
So carry momentum, hit your apex. If you notice consistently, and especially some of the longer duration corners up there, you're wanting to jump on the gas, it's a great sign you're overslowing. Brake lighter for longer, carry more momentum, rolling speed, power out of that turn, but just wait on that moment so we can actually accelerate for real. Last piece of advice, it's just your eyes. It's an awesome car. You're going to get faster. We just never think any faster. Keep up with it.
Yep.
First lap, we'll talk through every inch, then I'll see where I can help you.
Yep.
Did you have any questions? Anything not making sense so far?
No.
Feeling good?
When I drove the Acura there, that was my problem. I wasn't getting close enough to the apex.
Yeah.
So that's...
And
I found the GTR was easier.
So the Acura is a little soft.
Yeah.
It's meant for every day, so it is hard to kind of feel that part out a little bit.
Yeah.
It also, because the electric motor's in the front, it understeers instantly.
Yeah.
The moment you touch power, it's pulling away on the front.
Yeah.
So that's the easier thing. Again, fast car. This is, like I said, it's just everything's a little more sharp, so it gives you a little better feedback.
Yeah.
Should be able to recognize a little more. But that's the idea. You know, focus on turning a little too tight. If you're missing every single time, you know, the point of steering is to get rotation to point us down the next straightaway.
Yeah.
So every bit we're wide, we're just turning for longer.
Yeah.
So even if it's just adding a little more, you know, that should be your cue. You know, but have that reference point, because yeah, we're only doing 6 laps, but if you were doing 600 laps, if I have the same mark every time, and then one time I come through and said, oh, I was a little wide, my brakes are fading because I need to start braking sooner. You know?
Yeah.
But the only way you know with the same corners over and over is if you have a mark you're trying to hit and you miss it.
Yeah.
You know, or I hit this every time, it feels easy, I should come faster. You know, that's the other side of that.
Yeah.
If it's feeling easy, let's push. If we're missing, back off. You know, that's where you keep kind of fine tuning through. So put on the brake for me. Get that a little louder. Good. Your wheels are fully turned to the right. As you pull out, just better crank a big left. Just try not to hit the pole. But let's go have some fun, eh? We'll head down to that white wall. Get down there and take another left.
Big difference between this one and that one. Noticeable?
Noticeable for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got better. These are the 4.0 GT3s.
Okay.
Like about a year ago, we still had the 3.8s.
Yeah.
And they were about 10 times the 3.8. This is, I'd say this is probably 70% of that car. Same feel, but that's a little bigger tire, a little bigger brake, a little more power, 40% more aero.
Yeah.
And even though it's rear wheel steering, this is, I think, 11 degrees. I think that's 14 degrees off the axis. It's just everything just harder, everything's sharper.
Yeah.
So there's some things in there, if we lift a little bit, that you can now flat in that car kind of stuff.
Okay.
So it's faster. It's the McLaren new 720 will be faster, but that's our lap record.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're ready, good consistent acceleration as you enter the track, upshift in the second gear. He's the only other guy out here, so we're good to go. Out of the light part of the track, upshift once, keep building that pace, upshift once more. Just be just left that single green cone. Just tail lights on this first time, looking right. Just push in with that right hand and keep your hands moving until you're at the apex. Use all the track to the left and roll your foot down. Let it rev all the way out. You got time. Upshifts. Orange cones begin to brake smooth and firm. Harder initially. Straight line. Start easing off the brake. Release, release, release. Keep turning. Your hands need to keep moving. So you're good to start, but then you give up. The wheel gets heavier because the tire grips, but that's a good thing. Don't stop turning. Brake firm, harder. Looking right. One motion, knock that cone over. Squeeze the throttle. All the way right inside, light brake to balance, looking left. Second green cone, tighter, tighter, tighter. Throttle. I can fit a full car between you and that apex. Brake hard, harder initially. Look in right, ease off the brake. Now keep turning the steering wheel. Tighter, tighter. Get in there. Like I said, your entry's beautiful. Brake, apex left, accelerate. Brake firm. Now look at that cone and turn in. Tight, tight, tight. It's not connect the dots. They're just reference points. Keep your head moving before your hands do. You've already got good speed, but I want you looking through your corners. I look at the whole thing. Brake hard. Stay wide. Start curling your toes back. Look at your apex. Turn down to it. When you're going to touch it, look up to the exit. Full throttle out to that cone. Go. Scanning the next corner coming. Begin to brake. Lose the speed straight. Downshift left hand. Look in right. Start turning. So your curve is right. We're just late. Light braking. Look in left. Start turning in. Tighter. Keep your hands moving. Get over the crest. Now throttle. There it is. Brake firm. Straight line. Look in right. Ease off the brake. No pedals yet. Tighter. Even that 2% throttle is pushing us out a little bit. Lift, curve in, accelerate. Brake straight, look right. Start turning. The longer you have to stay on the brake, the heavier the wheel is, the harder it is to turn. So brake a little more initially so you can be releasing as you come in. It's lighter pressure and it'll be on for longer. Brake firm here. Start slowly backing off already. Relax. I want the weight to settle in the car. Because if you're still having to ride brakes, the ass ends up, it feels loose, it feels like it's going to spin out. So brake more, here, brake. Start releasing, come all the way off, 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 off. There's the squat. Now throttle down. Light brakes, look left, come off the brake. No pedals, tighter, tighter, tighter. Mid-track, full throttle. Scan the corner, brake here, brake. Start easing off, release all the way off the brake. More turn, no power. Turn, turn, turn. Now roll the full throttle. Let it push you all the way out. End up right. Just lift here, start turning, accelerate. Brake here, brake, look right, off the brake, full throttle out. Now there's a big red wall in that chicane. It's easy to stare at. When you come on the brakes, you need to look out my window. You've got good speed, but you gotta keep up with it. Brake firm. Stay wide, start easing off, release, 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 release. Turn, back to full throttle. If it starts to slide, we'll correct, but until then, everything's good. Keep going. Lose the speed. Brake hard. Look right. Start turning. Get off the brake. Closer. Roll the full throttle. All the way right. Light brake just to balance the way as you turn in. Second green's your apex. Now look up to that Porsche and full throttle at him. Scan where he's going. Lose the speed here. Downshift lies in. Coming off the brake. Tight. Get to that compression. Now full throttle. Look up. See that cone on the right? That's our target. Start lift, start turning at the line. Throttle, brake early, brake here. Look right, off the brake. More turn, back to full throttle. All the way out. Feel the difference?
Yeah.
Upshift. Take a big breath, relax it out, scan your corner coming, brake hard. Stay wide, ease off the brake, releasing, releasing, releasing. If you feel your foot touching the gas before the apex, go over slowly. So that's where you're going to adjust. Your line's good now. Now start playing that pedal pressure. Good firm initial, then think about curling your toes back. Just keeping the tail lights on initially, keep that grip on the front, but not trying to lose too much speed. Anything balance over, tight, tight, tight. You got to turn in. Now let it play out. Awesome. Lose the speed, easing off the brake, proportionally releasing, fighting that wheel. Get him. He's getting loose. Lift, balance, accelerate. Brake downshift, eyes in. There you go. You're just a little behind. And you're doing the right thing. You're not going off, but you're overslowing. That's a huge turn. tunnel vision. When it crosses, that's your mark to turn in. Same thing here. I don't need to stare at that cone. Trajectory's there, aimed at it. Look past it. You did the hard work. Brake, you know we're straight. Look right, start your turn. Where's that Porsche? Throttle to it. See your turn-in cone? Light brake, where's your apex? I know I'm gonna clip that apex, where's my exit? Throttle to it. Where do you wanna go? Begin to brake. We're straight, speed's lost, look across, come off the brake. More steering and patience, he's exiting, full throttle. We got more to do. We almost got him. Look across, throttle. Brake earlier, brake. Look right, come off the brake. Because that's the trick. If you think you're coming in too hot, you're gonna stay on the brake. So brake a little bit sooner so you're comfortable to back out of that brake and make that chicane. Turn 1 is the most important corner of the track because it leads us on a long straightaway, right? So that's the corner we gotta nail. That's when we're gonna gain or lose our most speed on, full throttle. A little bit into the chicane, you might find a 1/10 of a second, but we can lose 5 seconds on that straight. Ease off, turn it in. There you go. That being said, nice job. Lift, turn it in, get closer, tighter, use the room you got. Smooth, curling your toes back. We got time. We just need to end up at the apex. Full throttle. Still fun?
Oh yeah.
Good. Breathe off, scan in, turn in, throttle. Light brakes, light. Start releasing, off, 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 off. Get tighter steering, back to full throttle. Recognize too that even though you're releasing the brake, there still is pressure. You know, because you start at 70%, so then it's 60, 50, 40, it's still slowing down. Brake firm, start easing off and carry the brakes into the corner. Just allowing the weight to settle and give you better grip. Because you want the car just like that to feel planted. Throttle. But that comes on corner entry. Get it slow. We are going to come off the track here. That blue cone inside of the wreck. Nice job. So, what's catching you to keep going up? It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just you're getting faster.
Yeah.
You're getting your line better. You're getting more confident with the car. So we're coming to these corners, and the car can only turn so fast. So we're having to brake harder and harder and harder.
Yeah.
Not a bad thing, but the harder you brake, the farther that front end's going to dip.
Okay.
And the deeper you're just into the pedal, right in between the two. So, what happens is the rate that the suspension decompresses is a constant. It's just a spring, right?
Yeah.
So, if I'm coming to a corner first lap warming up, I may brake light, ease off, and the spring settles. If I come in and brake hard, full threshold, ABS all the way in, I still need to come off the pedal at the same rate to allow those springs to open.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you get that pop when you let them dump.
Yeah.
I did a good job of not doing that. But what's happening was just because you're trying to still be smooth in your release, you're just scrubbing a little too much speed on entry.
Yeah.
So, again, get more speed loss initially. Good stab, and then just start backing off.
Yeah.
You know, because here's the thing: if I come on the brakes, I start easing off, and I think I'm too hot, I can just leave my foot right there.
Yeah.
You know, we never want to add pressure, but I can just keep that brake on and then trail it off to make sure I'm still slowing down enough, but just it's still allowing more of the weight to settle.
Okay. Yep.
Just being able to roll that mid-corner speed. You know, carry it in, and that only comes from getting up the brakes. There's a great exercise I used to do with some other instructors where get on a track with some other guy, maybe he's faster, maybe about the same speed, you see the car about the same as you.
Yeah.
When you're behind him, your taillights need to come on before his do, and you still have to catch him in the corner.
Okay.
And it's the same thing. I need to be on the brakes, then I see his lights, and still close.
Yeah.
You know, but just getting comfortable, just losing the speed, but keeping that balance, and just rolling cornering speed.
Yeah.
And it's hard, but it's such a great exercise.
Yeah.
Because you see him pulling away, and you want to stay on the gas, try and dive on him. But if you can get yourself comfortable with sun coming in, one, you're gonna start feeling super comfortable on your entries.
Yeah.
And then your mid corner comes up, because the trouble is full throttle.
Yeah.
You're doing that great. but you don't got any more. You'll never get any more.
That's right, yeah.
So if you can make the slowest part of the corner get through that the fastest,
Yeah.
that's how you get quicker. That's it.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I mean, you got nice car control.
Yeah.
You're right there. But just, get the speed loss so you can make this thing do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, you're moving, getting close. Any questions for me?
Nope.
Are you driving anything else here today?
Nope, this is it. This is
So,
awesome.
I'm getting this back to you.
Yep.
Let's take it back inside. End of the day, like I said, if you're checking out cars still or you go drifting, just get this to the front desk at the end. We have your ID and then speeds and lap times.
Yep.
But great job, man. Good run.
Okay. Thanks, mate.
All right.